Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, member of the board, Superintendent Hefner. We bring before you 7 policies, revised policies, J policies in reference to students that we bring before you for your consideration of this discussion. And I certainly have had principal as well as other administrative input, and again, coming from recommendations from our school board association. Certainly entertain any questions that you may have.
I just got a 10-second question. You and I spoke on the phone about a request, and I know Dr. Hefner was sort of in the loop indirectly, but I just wanted to, are you going to come back with some, you're evaluating? One of the requests was for those people that are moving from out of district, don't have their property registered here, trying to get them on our tax roll. Y'all going to follow to a later date with some recommendation or conclusion?
I have not had the opportunity to have a full discussion with the superintendent at this moment. Mr. Whitehaver, I do intend to do that so we can make sure I disclose all of what we talked about in reference to the recommendation. And I'm certain after having done so, we will bring back some recommendations for your consideration.
And the request, I won't take any time this again, but the request was if you are a resident here, but you have a home moved recently from another adjacent community, you know, your tax, your vehicle development tax process or policy to make sure those people are bringing their vehicle registrations with them so you get the benefit of revenue for the students. And that's something we spoke about. It just, I've had that request several times since we last spoke, so I just want to make sure that's what put it out there.
Yes, I want to piggyback on what Mr. White is saying, so I appreciate you looking into that. The Lexington County Auditor has offered some suggestions, and if you all can put your heads together, that would be great to come up with more of a full proof system to prevent out-of-district students from attending our schools illegally, and that if you are attending the schools, you are contributing your tax dollars. From what we understand, there are too many out-of-district students attending our schools, and we've got to do a better job of screening that so that doesn't happen.
Thank you.
Next discussion item, I have item 15, which is our naming Kate Center.
Most of them don't even want to discuss it. They just want to laugh at Miss Murphy.
I think I can take you through them relatively quickly. Yes, still give the appropriate time to them. And the first is the Kate Center recommendation. It's following past procedures that we've used to name facilities in our school district. And you'll note there's a letter in the board packet from Mr. Dick Velasquez, who is here with us this evening, in fact, and also from Dr. Couch regarding their recommendations for the new name for the Career Technical Education Center, and that would be the Center for Advanced Technical Studies. And we'll bring that to you as a discussion item this evening, and bring it back to you for approval next meeting. Next item had to do with the revised school board meeting schedule.
Yes, very quick.
No, I was just going to say, why don't we just, can we postpone the rest of these items and go to the building?
I think we'll do it real quick, and I think we'll work on this.
I good, quick. The next one is school board meeting schedule, and that's just to bring to your attention now, and we'll bring back to our discussion at the next meeting, or excuse me, approval at the next meeting, is just as we're doing this evening, move the meetings that are passed in the held in the district office, and during the rest of the school year, that we hold those meetings that were scheduled for the district office, move them to an alternating schedule with middle schools, because it tend to have facilities like this, and you saw the crowd we started out with this evening, with parking and the other logistics go along with that. It just makes perfect good sense to do that, and we'll bring that back to you the next meeting for your consideration to change for the rest of the year. The last item had to do with school calendars, and that is really the reason for giving this to you this evening, is so you'll have this in your hand, because we've already begun talking to and we'll continue talking to parent and staff and other community groups for input on these two proposed calendars. Recall we've always had two calendars, one calendar in front of us and one calendar out, so opposed to make their vacation plans and other kinds of plans. a little bit behind the loop right now. We want to bring both of these to you. As we go through this process and gather input, we'll bring this back to you for discussion and for input, along with all the input that we had from our various advisory groups as well. Thank you.
Price. That concludes our agenda items, and that takes us back to item G under number 8. Council, would you all come up and start the process?
Mr. Gaines, may I ask a quick question before they get started? If we have any questions on these items that, we went through currently, can we bring them back next time, or should we just give them to Mr. Price? Because I've got a couple of questions. Okay.
Some people don't even have to raise their hand, they just holler out.
I don't know.
For the media, start with the board first.
I take offense to that, Mr. White.
Mr. Judge.
We have Mr. Whitney. So the man will start us.
Thank you, Mr. Gant. I believe you all have the board packet that was included with our brief update for each project that we're currently working on. The first one, Irmo Elementary School. This past summer, we turned over Building A, which is now being occupied, along with, of course, the portable village, while we do renovations to the existing school, demolish part of the school, and continue to build new additions. Building B, which is part of the building that runs perpendicular to Lake Mary Boulevard, pouring slabs there. We have masonry walls coming up. The work is progressing very nicely there, continuing to move along. Building D, which is what we're calling the existing historic building. We're working currently framing interior walls, roughly mechanical, electrical, plumbing in that area. So we're pushing forward, and we hope before Christmas to do some overhead inspections in there and start finalizing, begin pushing towards installing finishes in that area.
Mr. Whitney, can I ask on Irmo Elementary, and I know you get this question a lot, and I think you've answered it, but I keep seeing it, and I just kind of can't envision how it's gonna, that big, tall pile of dirt. Is it gonna ever get sort of used, or is it always gonna be this big hill?
Yeah, it's not gonna be a big hill. I mean, you're gonna have the hill stepping down.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be that big pile of dirt. I mean, you just don't know how many Irmo friends and businesses asking
It will look good when we're finished. It won't be a big pile of dirt.
They keep telling me that, and it doesn't go down, and so I keep telling them, no, they told me it's not going to be.
I can't tell you it'll be going down anytime soon.
I understand.
By
That's okay.
next August, it should certainly be down.
Yeah, as long as it's, I keep saying, yeah, they're going to spread that dirt out. It's not, they said, oh, can't you just see our little town, that big pile of dirt?
Yes, Mr. Whitley. I had a constituent ask me why there's going to be additional charges to refinish the floors in the historical section, that thought it was going to be carpeting or something else, and now we decided to stay with the flooring.
No, ma'am. What we've done, the district asked us, I think maybe the principal thought it would be neat to preserve some of that flooring. We have gotten some pricing that will be presented to the district as an option in lieu of carpeting or VCT, whatever was originally planned for that area. But no change on that has been done.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions in her motion?
I had one more question, and this may just be a general statement you put, at most of the ends, but where it says schedule budget issues, given the fact that the project includes substantially more of these square footage than was originally budgeted for, budget is a concern. Do we need to have that concern brought to us now, or do you don't really know a figure on that?
Well, obviously, when we bid this project, it was substantially over the original budget from 2008 when we approved it. And we're just continuing to show that on there. I mean, we're showing a committed construction cost of $14.5 million.
Right.
So that's over what we originally planned for, and of course, we have contingency and that sort of thing in place to cover that.
I appreciate you, keeping us abreast of that, because I think constituents do want to keep up with the budget.
And I think you pointed out, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say, almost day one, McAllister said this is a big challenge. So
Yes.
I think we need to keep that in mind. Certainly not surprised. There's a lot of excitement. I went to the foundation meeting, I had two or three teachers and the SIC chair. A lot of new yards, going out these things. McAllister, we're watching that. I appreciate you bringing it to us a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Okay. Moving on to Taper High, the only update there is we've had 2 pre-construction meetings, we've had good contractor participation, and we will be receiving bids on November 3rd.
So when should we start construction?
I believe your board meeting is like the 14th of November, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in there. Once we receive bids, you have a 10-day protest period that we have to, before we can actually award a contract. And then obviously, once you guys approve the contract, from whatever date that is, as long as that's after that 10 days, and the next day we'll start getting contracts out.
So they can start construction in the next few weeks after that?
Yes, absolutely.
And how will that work during the school year? Is that just be managed around population flow?
Yeah, it's a complicated phasing plan that unfortunately is shifted several times because of different, we intended to bid it on a certain date that works differently from a phasing standpoint as when we're bidding now. So working with S&W Architects on it, we've developed another phasing plan, this bid, and yeah, we'll just be moving folks around and intertwining the, it's going to be an active site with a lot of work going on during school hours, but we've come up with a plan that we feel like will safely allow us to construct that building.
What's the projected time frame for the project to be complete?
December 2014.
Ms. Murphy.
Yes, I think Dr. Hefner mentioned that you have the necessary permits to break ground. Is that correct?
My knowledge is, ma'am.
To your knowledge, you do the contractors, are they fully aware of the status of the permits?
We have their permits.
All the permits are received, we have that up. Question? Mr. Whitney?
Quickly, that's for high school and Irmo High School. The only real update there is we've been working on some additional conceptual drawings that Steve will finish here tonight. Other than that, nothing has really changed in the process.
You skip those two. I assume that's what you're not skip permit.
Are we gonna come back to that short number? Is that what you're saying?
New elementary school, again, no change on that one, along with the new middle school, which brings us to the new high school. Work is progressing nicely there. We obviously have the site contractor that's working. He has the building pad ready for the new high school. Continuing to work on sewer, water, storm sewer, those types of lines. Our Cape contractor is progressing nicely with foundations for the Cape Center. Also working on mechanical, electrical, and plumbing that work roughly there. So all that work is progressing nicely.
Going back to the new elementary school, and this, you may have knowledge of this, you may not. At one point, the district was threatening condemnation for the property owners over there. Have they agreed to sell the property, or do we foresee some other avenue?
You know, I'm just going to kind of ignore that. There was never a threat of condemnation. You know that, I know it. So I'll just let you make your statement. In your second board meeting, we had a group come before us. I don't want to recite this to you, but they were the owners. They asked us to enter a friendly condemnation offer. It wasn't necessary, it didn't happen. We all know the answer to the end of that question. I took your last question about Chapin High School and the contractor. Do they know about permits? That's almost a threatening. I really question where you are. That's almost like telling Mr. Whitley, when your contractor's aware, what's been going on.
All 3 of our staff members accused of doing wrong.
This is.
This is.
I'm gonna go to Ms. Hammond. I'm going to Ms. Hammond.